graduate, get my history degree, go to a teacher's college, and on the side, I'm going to train jiu-jitsu 2 or 3 times. Okay, let's go to a competition outside of Vancouver. Okay, let's go to Seattle, Washington. I don't know what this is. Sounds cool. Let me go there. The moment I got my purple belt, compete. Everything is perfect. My ACL went.
Hi, welcome to X3 Podcast. And if you're here for your first time, welcome. Today's a special day. We have this guest who is a great athlete, very successful athlete, but also very successful in business. So it's going to be a great conversation because I know him for a long time. So I know a lot of stories about him. You can get it deep and many great and funny stories. So join us, but don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also follow us on the social media. And our guest is Chad. How do Brazilians call you?
Chad.
Chad Shaule. How's it going, Chad? Good to have you.
Thank you for having me. Exciting.
Yeah, I was very excited to have you, Chad. And one of the reasons I invited you, because we are friends for a long time.
Yeah.
I know each other for a long time. And see your growth, when you started, when you met, to who you are right now. It's just unbelievable, how much you grow. And I wanted the people out there, to see how someone very shy, someone very didn't feel comfortable to speak, and to become someone like you today.
Yes.
Very successful, speaks a lot like me, and I have to say, Chad, come.
That's right. I learned from the best.
So if you don't know, Chad, he's a black belt for Gracie Barra, and he started training with me for how long a time ago, Chad?
14 years.
14 years ago.
Since day one, since white belt. 14 years, since 2009.
But before getting to that, let's just talk about a little bit who is Chad, who is Chad Shaule, so the people can understand. Canadian, right?
Yes.
From?
Born and raised in Missisauga, Ontario, Canada.
How was your childhood in Mississauga, Chad?
The best it could be.
Really?
The best it could be. I have no complaints. I come from a very good family.
Yeah.
Loving parents. Great childhood,
And how was your involvement with sport? Because you always been involved in sport.
Yes.
Right, Chad?
Always involved in sports since I was a toddler. It started with soccer from the age of 4 or 5. My parents always kept me busy in activities. I started with soccer. I played ice hockey, American football, basketball, and then I started dabbling into martial arts more in high school.
In Mississauga?
In Mississauga, yeah.
Okay. What made you move from Mississauga to Vancouver?
I moved to Vancouver in 2009 for university. After I graduated high school, I took a year to work and try to figure out where I want to go to university or what I want to do. I knew my plan was, standard procedure. Graduate high school, go to university, get a job, etc. So I chose UBC. So I came all the way across the country.
UBC.
Again, something like when I talk about the support from my parents, some parents would not be for that. Why do you need to go all the way across the country? Especially in Ontario, where I'm from, there's many very good universities right in that vicinity. Chad, stay at home. Go to U of T, University of Toronto, right down the street. Go to York. I come out. No, I'm 19 years old. I said, no, I want to go to Vancouver. Never been there before.
West side.
West Coast. I heard they have nice beaches. The snowboarding. I heard good things about it. I want to go there. Their first response, are you sure? But they were supportive. They said, go for it. So that's how I ended up in Vancouver for university.
It's make a huge difference, Chad, when we have a supportive parents, right?
Big time. That's one thing. I'm very, very blessed. I'm very lucky. The support I have from my family and my parents.
Okay, you got a UBC and you pick history.
History, correct. Yes.
Why you pick history?
I just an interest in history. I can't even, you can't even explain why you have interest in certain things. Math and science, not so much. Those are more the subjects I struggled with in high school. But when it came to stuff like law, politics, and especially history, that's something that I had a natural interest in. And a big thing again is my father. He has a big time interest in history as well. Really? World War I, World War II. Same with my grandparents. Yep. So, seeing his interest in it, maybe that led me towards the way. But a big thing that's what I can say. I chose that. That was what I was interested in. That's what I was, that's what I was good in. That's what I was good in high school.
I don't watch a lot of movies, Chad. I love to watch documentaries, biographies for people. I have the same interests as you. Learn a lot. You learn a lot from the past. So you started history, and then what took you to start jiu-jitsu? Are you practicing the sport before you start jiu-jitsu?
No, before I started jiu-jitsu, again, it was just a team sports.
And why jiu-jitsu? What happened? Like, if I was going to do jiu-jitsu, why?
So it started in my, before I moved to Vancouver. All right, I started watching UFC, okay? I started, not UFC 1. I'm not, not that old. But it was around, when Brock Lesnar, he's made his debut in the UFC and he got submitted. He got knee barred.
Oh yeah, I remember by Frank Mir.
And I said, how did this happen? This absolute beast from WWF. He comes here and he gets leg locked.
Yeah.
And then the main event that night was Minotauro Nogueira. He submits the giant Tim Silva.
Yeah.
Right. So this was one of the first UFCs that I watched, and I watched it live. And I said, these two, if you looked at them, you say, "Oh, these guys are out of shape. They're gonna get demolished." And I just saw that. I saw one guy win the heavyweight title, Minotauro, with a sweep and then a submission, and then I saw Frank Mir, leg lock, this absolute, monster, and then so that just really stood out to me. So at that time, I was dabbling in Muay Thai. Okay, just a little bit for fitness. One of my friends brought me to a gym, but when I saw that sparked a big time interest in one day maybe I'd like to start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah, that was a big thing. The interest in MMA and watching the UFC, and then also the transition from team sports. So when I finished high school, I didn't really have the interest or the goal to pursue it in university. So after high school, I just didn't have the interest or to keep playing after. So then when I started seeing these more individual activities that I could do, whether it was Muay Thai or Jiu-Jitsu, that's what sparked my interest to.
Do you remember first class?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
How was that?
Yes, I do. It was actually a great. It was. I was very lucky. It was a good experience for me because I started at Gracie Barra in Vancouver. Yeah. So by that time, I already moved out. I moved out here. I lived in Vancouver for about a week. And
you just moved and then start.
Yeah. So I moved to Vancouver about a week in. I was living in dorms. Okay, and there can be some good influences and bad influences. I had no friends. I didn't know anybody. So then I need to start making friends.
Because you are very shy as well.
Very, very shy. So a big thing for me was moving to Vancouver. Okay, getting out of my comfort zone. Moving to Vancouver, I had zero friends. I didn't know anybody. Okay, and now I'm living in a dorm, and now I need to walk around and say, "Hello, my name is Chad. Basically, would you like to be my friend? Because I have no friends.
Please be my friend.
Yeah, please be my friend." Right. So I started making friends. Now living in the dorms in university, there's some alcohol.
Yeah,
right? There's some.
It's a lot.
There's a lot of alcohol. There's some positive influences and there's some not so positive influences. Okay, so I needed to make some good friends. And another thing was I wanted to do an activity. I wanted to get into this jiu-jitsu thing that I'm a fan of the UFC. I want to at least try this. So those two things, I needed to make a positive friends, and I needed to do something. Okay, I'm studying, lifting weights here and there was quite boring. So I needed an activity. So I looked up jiu-jitsu gyms in Vancouver. At that time, there wasn't many at all, and I believe Gracie Barra. That's where I did my intro class. So I went there. I did my intro class. I had a wonderful experience. I said, this is the place, but still let me check out different gyms. Now, some gyms that I did show up to, I at that time I was very interested. I want to learn the gi first. I want to learn gi. I did show up to some gyms at that time, where, half the class was doing no gi, half the class was wearing gi bottom, like their pant, half the class, part of the class, a couple people had the gi top on, the class started 10 minutes late, and then I said, nope, okay, I know where I'm continuing my journey. And yes, I was Gracie Barra in Vancouver.
Yeah, if we were at home, like if he's talking about gi, no gi, like his jiu-jitsu can be practiced, no gi, just shorts and t-shirt, right? Or without t-shirt. And the gi with the uniform, right? And one thing you mentioned, Chad, and really for you who is moving to a new city, the best thing to do is go to a jiu-jitsu club. No, look for a jiu-jitsu club, because the probability you meet a bunch of good people.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
And have a good influence, and look for a place organized. That's it. That's what you're looking for, right?
Yes.
You went for a gym, you check. I like it when you check the other one, it wasn't that organized.
Yeah.
So that helps a lot to create a community.
Yeah, for sure. Before I made a choice, hey, let me check out these other gyms. Let me see what they're like. Let me see what the community are like. And that made me even more so. Nope, this is my choice, and that's what I stuck with. And like you said, it was I like the organization.
The organization, yeah.
The class started on time. Okay, we're all in. We all had. Is this a gi class or is this a no gi? It wasn't mixed. No, it was a beginner gi class that introduced me, to what is still at that time. I don't know. It's choke, grab somebody's neck, choke them. But it was like, no, this is the guard. This is what your goal is inside the guard. This is what your goal is when you're, in the mount below on a mounted pin. So it really helped, introduce me. And again, the big thing was meeting friends right off the bat, and friends that weren't interested in smoking cigarettes and drinking cans of beer. These were friends that were very similar to the friends that I had growing up. They were interested in a type of sport. They had they wanted to always improve, and to improve, their nutrition was in check, their strength and conditioning was in check. They were headed in the same direction as a lot of the friends that I had back home.
So at that time, when he joined, that's when I met Chad, right? That was the instructor of that gym, and actually at some point, I believe you were blue belt by when we are neighbors, right? You were white belt or blue belt?
Yes, no, I was a blue belt by that time. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I moved to an apartment and was right beside his apartment, and he was living with Pedro, who's another friend of us, and they have the balcony. You have a little piece of dividing the apartment. So you took that down, and then we have access to apartment of each other.
Yeah.
And I remember that time, Chad was so you can relive how we were living. The apartment wasn't it's not that bad location, but I remember someone got a kill, and do you remember that?
I mean, yeah, it wasn't high rise,
No.
No, it was. We were doing what we could at that time.
So I moved in. My bed, I have in the living room. I have one bedroom, right? In the living room was my couch, and they have the TV and the video game. They're coming over to talk play video game, and some but like, guys, get out of here, I got to sleep, because the dad was my scout.
Yeah.
And I remember that time, Chad. He want to save money, right? We all tie him.
Oh yeah.
Then he bought this manual washing machine.
Yes, yeah. That's what you would call it, a manual washing machine. 100%, because training in a gi, training jiu-jitsu, I mean, your laundry just piles up. And in the basement, just to do a load of laundry, would have been like $3 or $4, and you had to use the coins too, which was pretty annoying. So I found on Amazon a way. It was a manual washing machine, washer, right? It looked like it was like a little tank.
Yeah,
a little tank. It looks like a propane tank. It's a tank. You put in water, you put in detergent, you put in your clothes. Now, this thing is meant to wash like a couple of T-shirts.
Yeah.
It's not meant to wash a 5-pound gi, right? And rash guard and belt and whatnot. And I would be at the kitchen counter just.
I remember that.
And I would have to hand wring it out. So again, I'm not hand wringing out a little cotton T-shirt. I'm hand wringing, these big, trying to make some money. Yeah, exactly. Where we were living, trying to cut costs, and we're at different parts of our life. You just came from Brazil recently, and I was in second or third year university at that time, right? So
that time, the time you were getting into competitions.
Yeah.
I remember that time you were really into, and like as I said, Chad, probably one of the most accomplished jiu-jitsu athlete in Canada, from white belt all the way to black belt, and he always competed. He always was very athletic, right? That's the background you were bringing for a child. Always practicing sport, so he brought that power, strength, explosion to jiu-jitsu. And then since white belt, he was competing, doing a great job. And then the blue belt got even more intense.
Yes.
And I remember you training a lot, put a lot of focus on. And at some point, Chad, I remember you start helping out at the school. Mm-hmm. Like you start to make a transition because you are a competitor. I remember you were working as a bouncer as well.
I was a bar. I was working as a barback. Yes.
Yeah. And then you were in the school working and come to the gym to train. And some point you start to work in the gym.
Yep.
Helping more. Do you remember how was that transition?
Yeah. So again, the transition. I started training jiu-jitsu. It was just going to be a hobby. My focus was graduate, get my history degree, go to a teacher's college. Okay, and then from there, become a high school teacher. That was the goal. And on the side, I'm going to train jiu-jitsu 2 or 3 times a week. And then I started competing as a white belt pretty early on, and I just absolutely loved it because again, I was competing in other sports my whole childhood.
You're used to the environment.
I was used to the environment. It was an environment that I loved. I loved the competitive side of it, to push me to always improve, to not stay stagnant, but to get better. So I started competing as a white belt, and again, yes, as I started competing, it motivated me to train not 2 or 3 times a week, but let's train 4 to 5 times a week. But still, it was just going to be a hobby. I will compete here and there as a hobby. And then when I got to blue belt, right, we started, okay, let's go to a competition outside of Vancouver. Okay, let's go to Seattle, Washington. And for me, just to cross the border into the United States to do a jiu-jitsu competition was huge for me. That was huge. It's like, oh my God, I'm going down to the States. This is a big deal.
Big deal.
Right? And then I started doing well. I would do well at those tournaments. And then some of the fellow members at the gym and you had the idea, let's go to this tournament they call the PANS, the IBJJF PANS in California in 2012. and I don't know what this is. Sounds cool. Let me go there. Hopefully I win my first match. You know, hopefully, again, it doesn't matter how I do because my goal is to be a high school teacher.
Yeah,
right. So
you're just having fun.
It's just having fun. Okay, cool. We get to go on the plane. I believe that was my first time to that was my first time to California, just in general. Anyways, and then we went there, and you know, I did well. I got on the podium. After a long day.
Your first Pan Am.
Yeah, first IBJJF tournament. And yeah, made it to the podium after a long day. And that was a big thing for me. I didn't expect much from myself at that competition. I was just going to give my best. I'm just some, Canadian boy here. I'm going to give my best. And I did well. And that opened my eyes. I can actually, do well in this sport. I can pursue this. I actually have talent, and I know I can work hard enough.
Because Pan Am, for you at home, you don't know, Pan Am is the second biggest tournament on Jiu-Jitsu, right? The first one's the World Championship. After that's the Pan Am, right?
Yeah.
So your first Pan Am, you hit the podium and say, okay.
Yeah, very prestigious tournament. I was happy. I was proud. Again, I didn't win. I got silver that day, but for me, I mean, I didn't even know if I would get out of the first round. I mean, I'm there. I'm seeing these Brazilian guys with sponsors all over. I'm just here to do my best. So I did well, and then that's when I decided, man, I could be an instructor one day. I could own a gym one day. I could pursue this as my career. So I did.
That was as a blue belt.
As a blue belt, I did continue studying. I didn't take a semester off. Now, I was kind of thinking, man, I want to go all in on this thing. But again, I have very supportive and intelligent parents that said, Chad, let's get this degree. let's get you're already halfway. You're halfway through your university at that time. I completed my second year. I had 2 years left to go. Chad, let's get the degree. Okay, so I was smart. I followed their advice because I know I can continue training as much as I need to improve to win these tournaments, but I can also at the same time study and get my degree. I realize I don't need to go all in on something. I can still be, I can be, I can have these different areas that I can be, well-rounded. And
okay, let's put it in the timeline, Chad.
Yeah.
So you move.
Yes,
right?
yes.
You moved to Vancouver. Yeah. Very shy. Yeah. Never did jiu-jitsu. Started university. Yeah. Joined jiu-jitsu. Yeah. After a year or so, got a black belt or your blue belt. Yeah. Started competing more often, and then as a blue belt, you said, maybe I have something here.
Yes. And
maybe I can be a instructor, a great competitive instructor, or one day I have my school, right? So, but you were very shy at that point. Oh. How was that transition for you as a blue belt to decide I can make something out of this to start teaching? So start helping. How was that transition?
So again, I'm shy. I tend to have very small pockets of friends. So I was that white belt, that 19-year-old that walked into the gym that people are saying, what's wrong with that guy? Why does he look so grumpy? No, that was just my face. Now,
one of his nickname was Grumpy Cat, right?
Yeah. Grumpy. My nickname was Grumpy Cat. And one funny thing was when I was working as a bar back, I would go behind the bars and just collect empty bottles and take them out to the recycling. My manager at the bar would say, Chad, put a smile on. You're on stage. Like anytime you're working here, like you're on stage. Put a smile on. But anyway, I made my friends at the gym, but still I would walk into the gym and be pretty shy. And then when I got my blue belt, and I want to make, I want to make a career out of jiu-jitsu, even though at the same time I will study and I will complete my degree, but I want to make a career out of jiu-jitsu. So of course I started training more and more and more, and I got confident in my skills. And then came the day where I was offered, a chance to begin working, in the gym and clean and have a few classes. Let's start you off, have a few classes. You start with the late night classes, but at the same time, make sure that you're here at 6 o'clock, prime time hour. Follow me, be with me on the mat, stand beside me. You're gonna be with me. Follow, watch how I explain the positions. But you're gonna teach the 8 p.m. class a few nights a week, and I was ecstatic, right? So I quit my job as a barback right away. So I could be at the gym more. I was at the gym more. That means I could train more. I would teach. I would get paid to teach, and I would clean the gym. And I was absolutely ecstatic. And that's where I really transitioned from really being shy, keeping to myself. I'm only here to improve. To I need to open up, and I'm here to help others improve. I'm here to teach. So teaching became part of it, which made me, again, go outside my comfort zone. I have to speak in front of an entire class. But also what came with that was my confidence in what I'm teaching. When I'm talking to the students, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm not making these positions up. You guys can see I train so hard every day. You can see the competitions that I do. I have confidence in what I'm telling you. So that in itself helped me, to stand there, postured up, my head up with confidence, and speak loud to people, because it wasn't a mental trick. It wasn't, I wasn't doing any mantras or reading any self-help books. I simply had confidence in the knowledge and skill that I acquired through hard work, and then I can pass that on. So,
Chad, you mentioned 7 or 8 times the word confidence.
Yes.
Right. And that's one of the key points in martial arts, especially jiu-jitsu.
Yep.
Right. How much the jiu-jitsu boosts and creates a confidence inside you.
Yes.
And that's not over the days. That's training every day, little by little.
Yes. Oh, it's a very long. It's a grind. It's not a sprint. I didn't train for 1 month or 2 months and then become a different person. No, this is a day-to-day process.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, Chad was shy to the point you were talking to him, he's not looking to you.
Yep.
He was looking down and yes, it's that kind of shyness.
Yeah.
And Chad, I'm going to remind you how you started cleaning the gym. So I was teaching all the classes, and at the end of the day, I was cleaning the gym. And one day you come up and said, "Professor, you're so tired. Go home, let me clean the gym, clean the mats." Now we're sure, yeah. Don't worry about it. And then you ask, and you can go, I take care of it. And that time I have a business partner, I had Jovel.
Yeah.
And then the next day, because you were in the gym every day, next day, "Hey, Professor, leave it for me."
Yeah.
And then in the second, third day, Eddie said, "Let's wait for how long you're going to do that. He's going to ask for we to pay him."
Yeah.
And so you think so? Yeah, let's see. I think so. And then we wait. And it was like 3 weeks in. You were cleaning the mats. You didn't ask to get paid. You just doing because you knew I was spending a lot of time in the gym. And then we started feeling bad. Me and Eddie. And they say, "Hey, man, let's start to pay the kid. He's serious and help us out."
Yeah.
So then we would call you, say, "You're going to get such pay."
Yeah.
And that's how it started.
Yeah, I was ecstatic at that time. There's a lot of there's instructors, yourself, Eddie, that I really looked up to, and I said, "Man, I want to be an instructor one day. When I get an opportunity to put my foot in the door and to get involved and be part of the staff, and I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna give it my best." So just to clean toilets and mop mats, I mean, I was absolutely ecstatic. I could quit this job that I hated. I hated at being a barback. I mean, getting off at getting off work at 1, 2 a.m., missing the SkyTrain, having to take a a late night bus home. I wanted to get out of there, and I wanted to be in the whatever I could do to be in the gym more, and to once again just improve my skill set. Right, that's what I wanted to do, and I took the opportunity, and
That's great, man. I have, you're talking just like going back maybe.
Yeah.
See, so Chad, and then you start teaching more classes, right? And then now with the transition of Chad competitor, to being more confident.
Yes.
Teaching more classes, have to speak in front of more people.
Oh yeah, right? Especially there at the Vancouver location. I mean, the classes that were very popular.
Yeah, and then you start going into to become an instructor.
Yep.
Like teach, and then as you got a purple belt, you got more classes.
Yep.
And then you start teaching kids, teaching adults. So how was the difference? That was the difference. You start teaching kids, and then they start teaching adults. And I'm asking you that because as a instructor, you need to know how to teach both.
Yes.
Teach kids, adults, women's, men's. You need to have a good understanding about that. But of course, it's like if some people, I prefer to teach kids and then feel more comfortable teaching kids. And some of them are adults. How was that for you? How was that learning process, and what do you like most?
Yeah. Well, again, becoming just someone that shows up at the gym to improve himself and to try to win competitions. That's where the next stage started to come. Right? Yes, I was still competing and still trained very hard, but then I make the transition to becoming a coach, becoming a teacher, and taking a look at my students, and they're taking a big part of the day to be here to improve, right? And they want quality. So that was my duty to transfer my knowledge and my skill that I had to them. And to welcome them, and I did have to learn along the way, and again I was very lucky. I had there's other instructors on the mat, such as yourself that I could look to and see how they interacted with the students and how they stood in front of the class with good posture, with a very commanding voice, and knew what they were talking about. They like yourself, you're not just making stuff up. No. Like this was stuff. This was knowledge that you had. These were processes that you went through. So just that in itself, having positive influences that I could, and role models that I could look up to, helped me as a coach. And a big thing on this timeline here, Rodrigo, was when I was just absolutely cruising once I started training at the gym every day as a blue belt. I was just cruising, winning all these competitions. I even medaled at the Worlds. I got bronze at the Worlds at the blue belt, and I started doing more IBJJF competitions. Man, I was just cruising, and then I got my purple belt, and I started purple belt. The moment I got my purple belt, compete. And then about 2 to 3 months after I got my purple belt, okay, everything is perfect. My ACL went, okay, and it happened in a competition. No, it wasn't a submission. It wasn't anything catastrophic. It was just the match at a certain intensity. You just move a certain way. For everybody at home, it wasn't a submission. It was just I've made this movement many times. I make this movement on the mats every day. Just a simple little turn, and my knee gave out. And then once I got it checked out, yes, I have a torn ACL, torn meniscus, torn MCL. So this was a big part in the timeline from competitor to coach, because one day I'm competitor, I'm in a competition at that exact moment, and then the next day, no. I have literally one leg, right? And so that was a big part. And I was on the mat, the next day teaching. I teach. This is what I do. Okay, it doesn't matter the shape my leg is in. I need to be on the mats. I want to be on the mats the next day, teaching my students. So it took me about I think it was 9 months to get the surgery, which is pretty quick in Canada. Now, it was rocky to get that surgery, trying to get MRI exams, trying to get doctor appointments. That was very stressful. So it did take me 9 months to get my surgery. And then after those 9 months, it's a 9 to 12 month recovery. So almost about 2 years that my focus was not competing like I was before. My focus really started to become teaching. That was a big.
You think your injury helped you become a better instructor?
100%, because I became way less selfish. I was to be a very good competitor. Yes, you have to be. You have to be selfish. You have to focus on what's going to improve my game. And then I go from, I won't be competing for another 2 years, right? That's the reality of it. I won't be competing for another 2 years. That's placed on hold. Even more of a motivation to finish my degree at that time, right? I had more time to study, since I wasn't traveling all the time to compete. So, and again, injuries do happen. So, Chad, yes, let's at least also. Let's finish school up.
And for those people who train Chad, I really remember that. And Chad he blew his knee, right? But he found a way to train, and the only position he could train was half guard.
Yep.
So throughout this period, he was waiting for his surgery. I watched him develop his game on half guard.
Yes.
Because it was the only position he could do, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, for sure. Up until that time, I mean, my jiu-jitsu was a Rodrigo Carvalho. It was the Roraima way. It was the Boa Vista way.
Yep.
I took my opponents down. I passed the guard. I got to the mouth, and I cross-collar choked.
Yep.
That was my game. Yes, I did know how to play close guard, right? But then my ACL is torn. I'm still teaching, and I still want to train, but I have one leg. What style of game will allow me to lay on my side and basically not use one of my legs? It was it was half guard. So I literally I didn't play half guard at all.
Yep.
I didn't play half guard at all. If I was ever in half guard, it was like, oh my God, how can I stand up as fast as I can to take this guy down? So yeah, that was for anybody at home that when they get injuries and you know what, no, I'm going to take 2 months off. I can't. My wrist or this and that. No, there's always a way to train around the injury and to improve other facets of your game. And that's something that I learned. So the moment my ACL went bye-bye and I couldn't do takedowns, I couldn't even pass from my feet. I was working on my half guard. And again, once I got the sweep and I came up on top, I couldn't pass from my feet, so I would just do passes from the knees, over-under passes, double underhook passes. And right after the injury happened, yes, I was back in the gym teaching, and then at the end of class, I would have training partners that I would just drill.
Yeah, I remember
just drill and drill and drill.
Yeah. And he got it very good. So you were at home, we train jiu-jitsu, right? And that's what I tell our students. If you got hurt, it doesn't matter how bad it is. If you can stand, if you can walk, come to the gym. Put the gear on.
For sure. Yes, for sure. Yes, there's always a way to train around the injury. Be there, be in the environment, put your gi, come on the mat, okay? Be in the learning environment. Be in the community. Be in the community of people looking to improve rather than you sitting at home on the couch watching Netflix. Be at the gym. You're always learning mentally too. Yeah. We're not there. We don't go to the gym for a workout. If I wanted to do a workout, I could have stayed in my apartment and done burpees for 10 minutes. No, I'm going to the gym for more than a workout. I'm going there to improve, to be with my community, to actually have face-to-face conversations, right? And then to also improve my jiu-jitsu. So even if you're just there, just being on the mat,
that's important.
Seeing what's being taught, discuss with the other members the positions.
Yep.
That in itself, even without moving a muscle, you can be improved.
And that helps your learning huge.
100%.
Huge. And it doesn't matter if you're white belt, a blue or black belt. If you got an injury, get yourself a mat.
And I have students ask me all the time before class, hey, Chad, I can't spar because, my elbow. Is it okay if I do the class? I said, of course.
Yes.
Of course.
Come.
I don't expect, it's not mandatory that you spar.
Yeah.
I have many days myself. I'm so sorry. I don't spar, but I make sure I drill, or I discuss the techniques and concepts. Yeah, for sure.
Chad, let's just go back 2 minutes ago because Chad was very dominant. Like, he was dominant. He's like every single opponent. He was looking he was making good competitors looking bad. He was winning by submissions pretty much all the fights. In the fight he didn't win by submission, he was scoring 30 points on the opponent. Was that kind of dominance we're talking about. And it was funny because you went to Brazil.
Yes.
Right? And something happened there when you're training and someone made a comment.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Look how nice is this martial art, the jiu-jitsu, when he told me that, then damn, they have a DNA you pass on a jiu-jitsu. Yeah. Tell the story.
Yeah, well, Rodrigo, you have a very distinct style coming up as a competitor and even as a teacher. You favored knowledge when it came to takedowns.
Yeah.
Right? Have a very strong, guard on the bottom, especially close guard. Right? But you have a very distinct style. Take your opponent down, get around their legs, we call pass guard, get to dominant positions. Get to the most dominant positions where you're going to have the highest percentage submissions. Don't settle for, low percentage submissions. Get to the mounted pin, get to the mount, get to the rear mount position. Finish your opponent from there, and that's how I that's how I learned, and that's how I competed, and it worked very well for me. And yes, I did have this experience training in Brazil on the mats there, where I did have somebody walk up to me and say, "Are you a student of Rodrigo? Are you a student of Rodrigo Carvalho?" And I said, "Yes." How do you know? No. Oh, because of the takedown and the guard pass that you did. I said, oh my God.
That's called DNA in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Chad, I was yesterday. We were there with Master Pascual, my professor, and he was teaching. He's like, you know what? You can't pass the close guard.
Yeah.
No one can pass a close guard. And then everyone's like, I can't.
Yeah.
No, but what do you have to do to pass a close guard? You have to open, right? So it's not more close guards.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I was lucky the way that I came up, and you prioritize, close guard.
Yeah.
Right. I have knowledge and skill in takedowns, which is lacking in jiu-jitsu.
You are Chad, your knowledge. You are a judo black belt.
Yeah.
High level judo black belt.
Listen, my students ask me all the time how many years I trained judo. Like, what judo? I say I never went to a judo academy in my life. I never stepped foot. From day one that I started training jiu-jitsu, the format was the exact same format that we teach today. We teach one standing position, whether it's a self-defense position in the fundamental program, or it's a takedown specific for the sport in the advanced class. Nonetheless, one position will always be from the feet, and then we'll do two positions from the ground.
Yeah.
So every single class that I did since day one, 14 years ago, I was always doing at least one takedown per class. And as you know, we start our sparring where the match starts from the feet.
From the feet.
And you said, Chad, whether you like it or not, you can pull guard.
Yep.
Pull guard every match. go ahead, go for it. But you will know how to do takedowns, how to defend takedowns, how to move, how to grip fight.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You will have this. Right?
You need to pass that base on, Chad. And I see nowadays many schools, most of the time they start training on the ground.
Yep.
You know, and they are leaving behind a huge knowledge.
Yep.
And you have to understand which kind of black belt you're going to create.
Yep.
Right? So one day you're going to be a black belt. You're going to have students, and they're going to come up to you. And if someone who want to play stand-up, like, hey, professor, can you teach me a few takedowns? What are you going to say?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. I don't know.
So, and about the close guard, it's not to be an old school. It's because, as you mentioned, the jiu-jitsu, I believe, jiu-jitsu I like, is the jiu-jitsu, you are precise and you're effective.
Yes.
Okay? Why am I going to open my guard if I can close guard and be in a safe position when he cannot submit me, but I have a bunch of submission and I'll sweep on that position? And why am I going to give that away, leave on the table, and I play all the other kind of guards, and I really like some kind of guards as well. But I just play any kind of open guard if my opponent or my friend that I'm training with opens my guard.
Yeah.
No, so I'm always looking to be precise and effective.
Yep.
You know, if you can submit to your opponent for a minute, why not?
Yes, correct.
You know, and that was nice to see. That's exactly what you were doing. I have a good memory to watch you fighting and was looking to you and was going back in time.
Yeah. Like you said, when you would be coaching me, it would be like playing a video game
against you at home. He was competing. It wasn't deciding. I said, Chad, do this now. And it was literally step by step.
Yeah.
You know, and even some tough matches when you were losing.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the moment when most of the athletes get, because they have the time. You're losing, but have the time. So, and you have to act and take the decisions. And a lot of athletes in that moment get confused.
Yep.
You know, and you always never lost your focus.
Yeah.
You're always like very.
Yeah. That was one thing that I think I have naturally, and I always had. I never really go 100% and then down, and I always keep a consistency throughout everything that I do, really. But especially when it came to jiu-jitsu matches. Yeah. I would always keep that consistency. Now, with that consistency, there were times where you'd have to say, Chad, let's go. You need to step it up for this final minute. Okay, then I need to step it up. But keeping that consistency, it did keep me calm. Yeah. You know, under pressure. Whether I was winning, it kept me calm to, let's stay. We're winning, Chad, but let's stay with the strategy. Or even times when I was losing, because there was many times I was losing, and I remained calm, and you would coach me, you give me the confidence, you would remind me of what the strategy was. Chad, let's go, wake up, right? And then, okay, here we go. You, Chad, you know what to do. We've trained this so much. And then, you would remind me, and Chad, let's go. And then I would be able to come back from a lot of matches. But when I was losing, I came back from a lot of matches, and I got scored on first. Yeah.
Okay, so Chad, let's put a timeline here. The kid moved to West Coast.
Yeah.
Start university. Start jiu-jitsu. Very shy. Start training. Build up his confidence.
Yes.
Become a very good athlete.
Yes.
Right. Doing great. Start to become an instructor. And then at one point, you came up and say, I want to have my own school.
Yeah. So
where you at in your university in that time? And how was your mind? Like, what made you take that step for someone like, I came here to finish university and become a teacher, to now say, I want to be a school owner?
Yeah. Yeah, a big thing of that was maturity. So before I graduated, I was getting the thought maybe I could be a school owner one day. I graduated university. I recovered from my knee injury, and I was back on compete. And you yourself, when I was 24 years old, I graduated university at that time in 2014. I was graduated. I was working at the gym full time. I was teaching, a majority of the classes, teaching adults, teaching kids.
And I had some break that time.
And you gave me the idea, Chad, what do you think about opening a gym? And I said, nope, I'm just going to be a competitor right now. I'm going to be a world champion.
Yep.
The world's going to love me. I'm going to have these athletes. Everybody is going to know who they are. And then that's when I was 24. I matured a little bit more specifically over the next 2 to 3 years, where the idea was popped back up in my head and the idea was presented. And I said, yes, this is definitely something I want to do. I want to open a school. I want to, run a gym because guess what? The medals doesn't matter. These medals doesn't matter. Who was the world champion last year? Nope. Can't name. I don't remember. Okay, so let's have an outline in this life. Teaching is great, but let's take the next step. Let's open a school. And you presented me the idea, and again, luckily, big thing was my maturity. And again, from you, giving me the confidence, but also always saying, Chad, what's next? Yeah. Chad, if you're stagnant, okay. You need to always be improving. Yeah. You can't be safe. If you're just keeping doing the same thing every day, you're going to be stagnant. You're not going to improve. You are the one that would always say that to me. And my mother and father, they're the exact same ways. I would think I'm doing so well and I would be doing well. I'll be confident what part of life I'm in. But my parents would say, Chad, what do you want to do after this? And I would say, what do you mean, what do I want to do?
I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good. I just, no. What do you want to do? And then, So there we go. So my parents combined with you, Chad, let's take the next step. And I said, let's do it. And man, it was one of the best moments of my life. Look where it led me.
Yeah.
Right. And that's my next stage. That's where I became a school owner
and a successful one. A successful
instructor.
And so I'm gonna just one step back, Chad. I really remember we are at the black belt. We are in some IBJJF tournament in the class, and we were competing. I was the sidelines. And I really remember that conversation. We lost your fight, and I saw the reason we lost. We stepped off, and I was telling you, okay, that's what you did wrong. Next time you step this way, that way. And you were just like, you just shake your hand and say, Professor, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
And then what? And we were always after fights, even if we win or not, I was pointing out your mistakes, right? And you always all over the details. Okay, well, even when you're winning, you say, okay, you remember that? You did it wrong, whatever. And you're like, no. My mind's not here no more, Professor. I wanna be a school owner. You know what? And I remember you said, that guy I fought, that other guy, I have been fighting those guys since I was blue belt.
Yep.
And all the way to black. And probably these guys, he's crushing in someone's friend's couch to compete here. And said, I don't want to be doing that in 5-10 years from now. Yep. I want to come. I want to have my school. I want to have a successful school. And then in 10 years from now, if I don't know, I can decide if I'll go back to compete or not.
Yeah.
That was just because when I invite you the first time, Chad, to open your own school, and you say no, as a professor said, he's not ready.
Correct.
He didn't see yet.
Yeah.
But it's just like when your parents take care of a baby, and they know that the amount of time they're going to be crawling, walking, and running. Right? I said that will come. Let him enjoy more the competition. But now look how you build yourself. Okay, you came, and then you start training, and you start building your confidence, start cleaning the gym. That is very important for someone who want to be, because one thing is be a good instructor. The other thing is to be a businessman or know how to manage a business.
Yes.
And to do that, and I know nowadays, I'm the business owner, sounds like, flashy, right?
Yeah,
it sounds but you need to know how to clean the toilet.
Of course, yes.
Right?
Yes.
So you need to know how to make a coffee, how to sweep the floor.
Yeah, you're a business owner, Rodrigo. We don't show up to the gym and just teach, hang out, call it a day.
No.
Or business, whatever business. It's like restaurant owners don't show up to the restaurant, make a couple of grilled cheese sandwiches, and call it a day. The owner of a sports team doesn't show up, kick the ball around, and leave. No, there's lots of facets to owning a business. You know, that was my next stage in my life. I was losing that flame for the competition, and I wanted to take the next step in my life. And the flame was lit as a business owner, as a school owner. Now it's time to take the next step. That's what was very exciting, and it was a very exciting challenge for me too. It was something new, and it was something that over the years I got to learn. I got to learn seeing you and Eddie, and that lit a flame for the next step to open a business.
So you can understand that the Gracie Barra school he was in when you took it over wasn't a Gracie Barra school official. We have 170 students, and a couple of years we went to 500, 600, and 900 students. Yeah. And he saw everything happen.
I saw.
And you saw me as a business person.
Yeah, I saw you leading by example. Yeah. You know, as I said, cleaning the gym.
Yep.
Right, doing everything, and teaching the classes, doing the marketing. You know, coming up with all these ideas of events that we can do for the students. Rodrigo, the day that you made the decision to buy that, how many seats is it? I mean, 15-seater van. For you to pull the trigger on that, the first jiu-jitsu school here on the West Coast too, for you to pull the trigger and, you know, make that investment, right? That was a very big thing for me to see and for me to learn. You know,
take a risk.
To take the risk, you have to spend some money to make some money.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you saw everything. And then when you told me in that competition, Professor, let's do it. Yeah. Let's do that school. You know, I'm gonna be successful. You know, just like you. And man, you know, proportionally, for me, you passed me because in your school, Gracie Barra Burnaby, when you move, you start in a very small location because they are renewing the location. So the guys that the landlord gave guys a very tiny, probably 800 square foot. Do you remember how big was
it? Oh, yeah. The
600?
Yeah. It was about just under 1,000.
It was 100,000 square foot. And then how many students you sign up in that tiny little space?
Oh, yeah. We're up.
Before you switch to the...
We're at least around 200, something like that. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. You know, you did such an amazing job, Chad, and I watch it, and I got so proud because you learn everything, and you was master putting it, you know, and then you got all the information throughout these 10 years, and then you applying in such a perfect way. Yep. He signed up 200 students. Like 90% of the jiu-jitsu schools here in BC or probably in Canada, they don't have that many students. Yep. He signed up 200 students in a tiny area when he was waiting for his actual location to be ready.
Actual location, yeah.
And he was making money even before past to the actual location because the guys wasn't charging, right? So, and today, Gracie Barra Burnaby has 400 students, you know, and Chad, and I come to Chad, go open your second school. And he's like, hell no.
Yeah, exactly. See, that's when when we opened up the Burnaby location, again, I had so much excitement, and this is a new part of my life, a new stage of my life, going from a selfish competitor to a competitor / instructor. Now I'm an instructor first. I'm a school owner first. Okay. My training or plans to compete, that's all after, okay? This is my priority, running this school, and I loved it. I loved doing the day-to-day activities. I loved, still to this day, mopping the mats. I'm the last one at the gym. I love mopping the mats and closing it down. I love teaching the classes. I love welcoming all the students on their first day when they're walking in, they're so nervous. I love being the one to shake their hands and make them feel comfortable and welcomed, and that's where we are today, and it just grew. And again, it was day by day. Show up, give your best, you know, day by day. I have the love for it, and again, back to the question about Chad. When are we going to open up the next school? When are you going to open up your second school? At this moment, I love being the one at the gym every single day, shaking all of my students' hand. At some point in my life, I will make the jump and open up a second location. Is it going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30? I don't know. At this moment, in this stage of my life, I love being at that one location every single day, talking, welcoming every student that walks in my door. My priority is that gym right there. People ask, Chad, you go train with other black belts? No. I train with my white and blue belts. Chad, you on the weekend you must go and train with the. No, I don't. No, I'm at the Burnaby location every single day. If I'm off training with other black belts, that's taken away from my energy, from my students. Yeah. I give every ounce of it to them. I can't be selfish and, hey guys, I'm taking a night off to go train with, black belts or what. No. All my energy goes to my students, and therefore, at the moment, I don't have the interest to open up a second gym right now. But as I said, the next stage, right? I don't need to. The next stage, will it come? It can come, but at the moment, I love being there in that,
I remember when I asked that, you said, Professor, I don't want to have your life. No way.
Oh, yeah.
No way. I'm very happy what I got. Yeah. So, Chad, it's nice to see, how you close and open new chapters in your life, and it's very interesting. As I was mentioned before we started the podcast, Chad was a star on Instagram. He was all over. I have, how many followers you have? 50,000. He was big, and suddenly, like out of the blue, it's like, I'm done with this. He cut off his all social medias, and I believe you focus more yourself.
Yes, yeah. So again, I do have this confidence to speak not only in front of a jiu-jitsu class, but be here on a podcast, to speak at to make toasts at a birthday party or whatnot. But yes, I was big into social media, Instagram, Facebook, right? I was wasting so much time. Oh my! I was wasting so much time just taking photos and posting, and it was all for myself. What's the next post I'm going to do? I just realized I was wasting so much time. So you can temporarily, I guess, suspend or stop your Instagram and Facebook account. This was in 2018. You could temporarily stop it. I said, let's try it for a week. I mean, it was amazing. It was an amazing transition. What I did, a week. No, I went, this is great. I have so much time. I'm getting so much more things done. My face isn't in front of my screen all the time now. Permanently delete. Since 2018, I've been off all social media platforms. So anybody that is wondering, if I'm in a hole in the ground or something like that, it's because they don't see me on social media. No, I just don't have social media. All my energy doesn't go to commenting on someone's post on the other side of the world. Again, it goes back to all my energy goes into the people that I see every single day, the people that I see in real life. My students, right? That's where my energy goes. My energy doesn't go on commenting on or liking a photo of someone I've never met in my life. So that was a big thing. It was the time and day that it opened up for me during the day to get more things done, and just appreciate the real life conversations, with actual people. face to face. Yeah, people
are losing that because so much time on social medias, and living this virtual reality.
Yeah, exactly.
And they forgot about the real reality.
And that's one thing we're very lucky with what we do, Rodrigo, because we have to touch with jiu-jitsu, right? We have to be face to face, and we have this community where we all show up, and you have to communicate. You have to talk. You have to talk about the positions and the techniques. You can't just come there, put your headphones on, and do a workout. Yeah. We're always communicating, and I see students walking through the front door just so shy, looking scared. Right, the moment you say, "Hey, Alex," they, oh my God, because they were probably working from home. Right? They probably didn't speak to anybody in real life the whole day other than Zoom meetings and whatnot. But when they come in, when they come into the gym and you're actually speaking face to face, I mean, this is what we're supposed to be doing. So yeah, it definitely made me even put more of an emphasis on
And Chad, so as we talked for the last hour of this podcast, and then it was a good a picture of someone who comes in very shy and change it totally, and become a successful athlete and successful business owner. And what are your advice for people out there, for who does jiu-jitsu, who doesn't, with not training, those ones that are training? What your advice would be for people who are lost in their life, or they are the younger fellas out there, they're just starting? What do you be? That is very important because you did made it. You made it. What is left to them?
You have to find your passion. Know what your passion is. Don't try to do something because you think this is what I should be doing. This is a standard protocol. First, you have to find your passion. Again, if jiu-jitsu is your passion, for example, for me, jiu-jitsu was my passion. Okay, I love doing this. I enjoy it. I appreciate the hard work, the grind. I'm going to stick with what I first have the passion with, and do the hard work. Do the hard work to take me where it needs me to, where it's going to take me. Right? Don't force something on yourself. Don't just try to do something. Because you think that's the way. That's the way it should be done, right? Stick with your passion, and then when you stick with your passion, you will appreciate the grind, the hard work, and expect a marathon, not a sprint, right? The success does not come quick, right? It's a grind.
And especially in nowadays in society, we see more and more people giving up so easily, and everything. Yep. And that's one advice for you: if you are giving up and easily on things, start jiu-jitsu.
Yes.
Start jiu-jitsu. That's going to help you a lot to stick, and create a discipline and build your confidence, So they're going to help you in many areas in your life.
Yeah. Stop expecting instant gratification, right?
Yeah.
Results don't come overnight. I know you can get food instantly, right? You can order off Amazon.
You can get a date.
You can get a date instantly. You cannot improve in your jiu-jitsu overnight. It is a process, just like other things in life worth getting good at. It's a process. There's no cheat code. There's no cheat code to get better at playing the piano, right? You're not going to take a supplement and be better at playing the piano tomorrow. So stop asking about supplements or what recovery methods or whatnot are going to get you better at jiu-jitsu or playing the piano or football or whatnot. No, it's showing up day-to-day consistency, okay? Not working so hard for 2 days and then taking, the next 2 weeks off. No, staying consistent, having passion and staying consistent.
And you parents out there, if your parents are watching this podcast and you look for a school to put your kids on, look for someone who's been successful, because that person will spend time with your kids and they will pass those knowledge. And I'm saying that because I'm very proud to have you here, Chad, interview you. And me as a professor, because that's now is my profession. Yeah. I'm a professor. Yeah. And that's when you can be called professor. Yeah. When your student doesn't need you no more. When they're so successful, they know so much. And now I feel very grateful, when they look to you, not you, many of us, but especially you, I'm interviewed today, and see how successful, how you build your character in such a way, you know, and then make me proud. And the advice I'm a parent's advice I leave to you parents who are watching us. If you look to put your kid in a martial arts school, you know, look very into who's the professor, who's the teacher, what they're doing, you know, because if you put that kind of influence around your kid, that's going to be the outcome.
Role models and inspiration is huge. And I was lucky growing up. The role models and inspiration that I had, whether it was my friends, that I look up to, or it was an athlete,
your parents,
or even my parents. I see how hard they worked, you know, and work full days and come home and drive me here and drive my sister there and put me in this activity and put me in that activity. And then coming across yourself, right, who has all these different avenues, not just jiu-jitsu professor, but a successful school owner, schools, owner, multiple, right, competition networks, properties, podcast. I mean, you're someone that I always looked up to that was doing all these different things, very diverse and always working very hard. A lot of sleepless nights, you know. But and the time goes by, and as the time goes by, right, the success naturally came with the hard work. I mean, still, Rodrigo, I still think some people they don't know you that well. What I mean by that is, for example, with the monthly update you just had, I showed my girlfriend and she said, "My God, the studio! Wow, how does he have time for all this?" I said, "You don't.
Yeah,
you don't know. You don't know Rodrigo. You don't know Rodrigo. Hard work. He will find the time. He has the passion. He will get it. He will get it done. Properties, resorts, whatever you're building, starting after school programs. I mean, now it's." When we talk about role models and inspiration, that's one example that I had coming up was seeing you. Chad, go outside your comfort zone. Try to
What's next?
What is next? That's all.
What is next?
That was always a big thing. What is next?
What a great interview, Chad.
Yeah.
Man, it was more than 1 hour, and now it looks like we talked for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was great. I could spend at least 2 more hours with you talking here.
Yes, for sure.
It brought me so many good memories. And that is the X3 podcast. You know, the 3 is because people, sports, and business. And you covered today all.
Yep.
You know, was very good, very entertaining. And if you at home, you know, you can expect more conversations, more interview like this. So just comment. You know, it's very important you comment on the video now and also share with your friends. And also don't forget to like on our social medias and follow this channel, okay? Chad, any last word before we go?
No, thank you so much for having me. Gracie Barra Burnaby. Okay, anybody come by. As I said, don't message the Instagram thinking it's me. I'm not the one replying. I'm not on there. I appreciate the in-person visits and communication and, you know, and fun times.
That's great. And I can't wait to meet you again in the next episode, and I hope to be great like the one I have today.
Thank you.
So I didn't know what,
Thank you for having me.
I just started with the podcast. I already love it. To have this good conversation, talk about business, people, growth, opportunities, everything. So you know me. I'm about it. So see you soon. And Chad, thank you one more time. Okay? Bye-bye.